everyone, and welcome to I Am Back at Work's webinar, Job Search Strategies to Maximize Your Time and Success with Tammy Banfield. I'm Mickey Feldman-Simon. I am the founder of I'm Back at Work, and I am excited to have you join us here today. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you can all use the webinar panel and make sure that it is not currently covering your screen. So as you will see in a moment, your webinar panel either looks, it's either closed up or expanded. Tammy, if we can move to the next slide, please. So thank you, Tammy. So as you can see in this slide, your webinar panel either looks like the closed-up image on the right or the image on the left. And to open and close it, you click on the orange arrow up the top. And once you click on that, it will open or close the webinar panel, and you can also drag it, just click at the top of the panel and drag it out of the way. So if it's currently obstructing your view of the webinar, just click on it up the top and move it to the side. Now we will have a 5-minute Q&A session at the end of the webinar. And to ask questions, click on the questions, the gray questions bar, and then type in your questions in the blue rectangle just underneath. And we will address all of your questions at the end of the webinar. And now I'm very excited to turn off my video so that you can concentrate on the presentation and pass it on to Tammy. Welcome, Tammy.
Hi, Mickey. Thank you so much for that warm introduction. Okay. Oh, I'm just see if the slide will go to the next one.
So bear with us just a little bit. Tammy had a power outage and she is now, we are being very resourceful in how we are presenting this and overcoming the power outages. Tammy, maybe use the arrows on your computer if that's not currently working. Just bear with us for just a moment. Tammy?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm still here. It's just not wanting to move for me.
Are you able to use the arrows on your computer to move the slides? Bear with us just another moment. I know that usually it is.
That's what I'm trying. Okay, here we go.
Sorry, everybody, we're back on track.
All right. Yes, so my name is Tammy. I'm a certified career coach and a professional resume writer, and I've helped over 600 clients from around the world secure their ideal job. I run my own career coaching business, and along with helping my own clients, I also get contracted by some of the most respected resume writing companies in North America to assist their clients. My passion is advocating for the career advancement of women, and I am dedicated to helping you succeed in your job search. That's why I'm here. Okay, so to start, why should you create a strategy for your job search? Well, the traditional ways of finding a job simply don't work anymore. If you've been relying on big job boards like Monster and Indeed, I imagine that you're pretty frustrated right now and you're not getting the results that you want. And this is because it can take up to 50 applications on sites like this to get just one interview. And I want you to think about that for a second. So that means finding 50 jobs to apply to. That also means tailoring your resume 50 times. And you know how much work and fun that is, right? And on these big job boards, it can take 20 to 30 minutes to apply for just one job because of all of those extra online forms that you need to fill out. So in total, that can mean, over 16 hours of just uploading resumes and filling out online applications to get just a single interview. And it gets a little bit worse. It can take 7 interviews to get a single job offer. So this could mean applying or completing as many as 350 online job applications, 350, just to get one job offer. So obviously those odds are not great. So if you're not getting the results you want from your current job search, this is probably why. Now, to beat the odds, you need a proven strategy that will help you stand out from today's highly competitive, supremely crowded job market. So here's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to explain in a little bit more detail why those big job boards just don't work, where you should be focusing your time instead, how you can be leveraging the power of LinkedIn in your job search, and then how to map out a job search strategy. So basically how to use everything we talk about today in a sort of day-by-day plan or schedule. So why don't those big job boards work? Well, if your current job search includes spending a lot of time applying for jobs on big job boards like Indeed and Monster, this is the traditional way of doing things, right? So it's understandable that this might be your go-to strategy right now. But what I want to do is flip that approach. So instead of spending 90% of your time searching for jobs on those job boards, I want to take that down to like 20% of your time or even less. And breaking up with these big job boards is one of the best things that you can do for your sanity, and it's one of the best things you can do to have a more effective search. And here's why. Number one, the big job boards are time consuming, and if you've been using these boards, you know this is true. Every application has a different multi-step process that you need to go through with these boards, and like I said, it can take almost 30 minutes sometimes to apply for a single job. The second reason that they don't work is there's high competition. Jobs on these sites typically receive hundreds of applications, if not more in some cases. The job boards also employ applicant tracking systems, and these systems are designed with the sole purpose of screening candidates out of the process so that the human resources people or recruiters have fewer resumes to review. And this ATS system causes a visibility problem for you. So because you're being screened out, it's highly unlikely that your resume will ever be seen by an actual person. So we know that the big job boards don't work because there's too much competition. So where should you be focusing your energy? You should be focusing your energy on building your network. Your network is the most valuable job search resource you have. And the jobs with less competition are in your network. The hidden job market is in your network. So you've heard of this, right? The hidden job network, the hidden job market, or the place where jobs aren't advertised or aren't put on company websites. If you want access to those jobs that aren't advertised all over the place and get thousands of applications, you need to be building your network. The more robust and high quality your network, the easier it will be for you to learn about new job opportunities that are specific to you, learn about jobs that are not posted on the big job boards. And building your network will also help you potentially earn referrals from people who work at your target companies, who work at places where you want to work. So if you are in a job search right now, I recommend spending 20-30 minutes a day concentrating on just building your network. So these are the 4 areas I want you to concentrate on when you're building your network. So I want you to look for people who have the kind of job that you want, people who hire at your target or ideal companies, recruiters who specialize in your industry, and local or professional networking groups. Now, at first glance, it may seem impossible to find these kinds of people, right? Let alone add them to your network. How are you supposed to find these people? How are you supposed to connect with these people in order to build your high value job rich market? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the most powerful tools in your job search arsenal, and I really cannot overstate this. I've had clients struggle for months to land interviews, but after setting up their LinkedIn profile and giving them a game plan, the interview requests suddenly come flooding in. And I had one client in particular last year in the fall. She came to me after searching for a job for 4 months, and she was having like no luck. She wasn't getting interviews. She was applying all over the place and just not getting traction. So as part of her work with me, what we did was set up her LinkedIn profile. And at first she was very hesitant to be on LinkedIn. She saw it as just another, social media platform, and she didn't think it was for her. But eventually I talked her into just giving it a try. I said, give it a try for a month, and if nothing happens, we'll take your profile down and it will be like it never happened. Well, within 2 weeks of us having her optimize a LinkedIn profile up there and her going through these same strategies, she received 3 interviews in requests in those 2 weeks. People were reaching out to her about jobs that she wasn't finding in other places. And ultimately, one of the people who reached out to her, she eventually got offered a job with them, and it was pretty much her dream job. So she had a very successful experience with LinkedIn, and so can you. There are so many ways to use LinkedIn to your advantage, but for right now, I just want to focus on how you're going to use it to build your network. With people working in jobs you'd like to have, people in hiring positions at your target companies, recruiters in your industry, and with networking groups, both local and online professional groups. Again, if you're actively job searching, this is where you should be concentrating your time. And I would recommend maybe aiming to send out 5 to 10 connection requests per day to people who fit these categories. And LinkedIn's search engine capabilities is actually really great for helping you really narrow down your search to those groups of people specifically. So you can search people, you can filter it down by keyword, by location, by the company they work at, by the industry that they're in. LinkedIn really does a great job of helping you narrow down your search so you can connect with the people who will help you the most. Okay, so once you've found these people by searching on LinkedIn, you're going to want to send them a message with your connection request. So if you are sending a connection request to someone who's not in your network yet, please don't just hit the connect button and hope for the best. You can customize your connection request with a message. So please do that. You want to add a note so that you start building your relationships right from the get-go with these people that you want to have in your network. So you can see these message examples that I have here. They're really short and sweet. It's nothing complex. So like the first message is just something that says, I came across your profile, I'm growing my network, and I like being connected with other professionals like you in whatever industry you might be looking for. I hope you'll accept. If they do accept your connection request, make sure to send a thank you. So just say thank you for connecting with me, and then find something in their profile that you can relate to. Maybe it's where they live or where they work, and just ask them a conversation starting question like, how are you enjoying working at ABC company, or how are you enjoying, the whatever area they might live in. And then the third message is really where you're going to try and set up a phone conversation with them. You really want to be building strong relationships. And by getting someone on the phone, you are going to cement a really strong relationship with this person in your network. And again, it can just be really simple, and the conversation on the phone, that can be just 5 minutes. So the message is just going to be simple, like, I'd really like to learn more about your experience at X company, or I'd like to learn more about how your career led you to X position. Would you have time for a quick call this week? Okay, so once you've built up your network and you start doing these quick phone calls with the people in your network and you're building these relationships, which is all great, your work isn't quite done. I want you to stay top of mind with everyone in your network. It's great to have a large network, but you want them to be thinking about you or think of you when things come up. So to stay top of mind with your network, you're going to like and comment on posts in the news feed or in the groups that you've joined. Take advantage of those LinkedIn message prompts. LinkedIn will send you messages when anyone's having a birthday, when anyone in your network has a new job or a job anniversary. So use that to your advantage. It's an easy way to stay in touch with someone. And then you can also, of course, create or share your own content to help position you as a leader in your industry. The more engaged you are on LinkedIn, the more people will see you. And the more people see you, the more they will feel like they know you and can trust you. And of course, the more top of mind you are, if anyone in your network knows of a job, they're going to think of you and they might reach out to you or refer you to someone within their company that makes those hiring decisions. Okay, all of this networking is great, but you still actually have to apply for jobs. The jobs, that you'll be applying for could come from following a company page on LinkedIn. These jobs could come from a recruiter or a new contact. And of course, it still could come from one of those big job boards. But we're going to go beyond simply applying for these jobs online. And there are 4 steps I want you to follow each time you find a job to apply for. So step 1 is you need to tailor your resume. Make sure that your resume shows the value you will bring to that specific position at that specific company. Then I want you to find someone at the company to send your resume to and to address your cover letter to. So when you're searching for contact people, one of the easiest ways to find someone at the company to send your resume to is to go to their company page on LinkedIn. On this page, you'll see a link that says, see people who work here. And depending on the size of the company, this list of people, it might not be too long for you to scan through and identify who the most likely person is that is responsible for hiring for that position. Also, if you're applying to a job that was posted on LinkedIn, a lot of the times those job postings will include the person at the company who posted it. So that's definitely someone that you can connect with and send your resume to directly. Step 3, follow the job ad instructions. Do as they're asking you to do. And then step 4 would be to send your resume to the contact person directly that you found in step 2. And you can do this either by email, if you can find their email address, or you can even do it in a message on LinkedIn. Once you're connected with someone, you can actually send attachments through the LinkedIn messaging function. So here's an example of how you would do this. I know I have a lot of clients who are like, what exactly should I say in my email if I'm, sending my resume to somebody when they've asked for people to apply online. So here is a simple script that you can use. Again, just like your connection request, keep it short and sweet and to the point. So this just says, I have great interest in joining your sales team. With over 5 years of experience as a sales manager and a reputation for consistently exceeding annual sales targets, I'm confident I can help advance Sunshine Company's objectives for 2018. So this just, in one sentence here, we're showing how many years experience you have and an accomplishment or a theme that runs through your career. Then mention that you did apply for the role as directed, but mention, to avoid being lost among the masses, I thought I would reach out to you directly. And again, encourage them to get on the phone with you. If you have time for a quick call this week, I would love to learn more about this opportunity and how I may best contribute to your team. You can reach me at, give them your phone number, and then say that your resume and cover letter are attached. Okay, so now that we've covered how important it is to spend more time networking, connecting with people, and establishing relationships on LinkedIn, I want to help you structure a plan for your job search. So I know we've covered a lot of information here, but it's virtually useless if you don't know how to put it into practice in your everyday life. So you can conduct a highly effective, super thorough job search with only an hour or less. So ideally, I would like you to spend, of course, like we mentioned before, 20 to 30 minutes just building and nurturing your network. So you want to spend this time identifying ideal companies on LinkedIn to follow and stay up to date with, connect with people who work there and the people who hire there. For the people who hire there, look for human resources managers, talent acquisition specialists, or recruiters. Connect with people with jobs that you want, people who would be your potential colleagues. Also connect with recruiters in your industry. And then also spend some of this time following up on messages from your connection requests, right? Remember those scripts we talked about? So spend some time sending those messages. And then of course, you want to stay top of mind. You want to keep your network warm. So be sure to post, like, and comment on things that are happening in your newsfeed and in the groups that you've joined. And then I would, spend just 10 minutes looking for jobs or scanning for jobs from the big job boards, from industry-specific jobs, if there are any job boards out there that are specific to your industry. These are actually a little bit better than the big job boards because there's less competition there. Look through your job alert emails. I know if you're looking for a job, you're getting emails with all of these job alerts, right? And then prioritize which jobs of all the ones that you've scanned through and possibly found or bookmarked are most important to you, because those are the ones that you really want to do a thorough job of in the application process. So then 2 to 3 times a week, I would apply for these open positions that you earmarked from all of the job board scanning that you've been doing. And that's just because it can be really exhausting to continuously tailor your resume, customize your cover letter, search for the contact people. So if you sort of batch this in chunks at a time, you're not going to get completely worn out and accidentally send the wrong resume to the wrong job or mislabel your cover letter. So to avoid those mistakes, try batching this so you can stay fresh and sharp when you need to do this. And as we mentioned before, make sure when you are applying for these jobs that you tailor your resume, that you find the contact information for someone who works at the company who could be responsible for hiring. Apply online or as they direct, if they direct you to send it to an email address, make sure you do it that way. But then of course, always send a message or your application to a contact directly. This dramatically increases the chances that your resume will be seen by a real person. And then connect with anybody in your existing network that may be able to help you. So maybe if you've connected with other people who work at the company, maybe they can put in a good word for you or a referral, or maybe they could go to the hiring manager and say, I'm connected to this person on LinkedIn and they're always posting really smart things. I think they applied for this job. You should check them out. And that's a good way to, bring your resume forward, to cut through that competition. All right. Now that you've done all of this hard work, I want you to sit back and just wait for the phone to ring. If you're concentrating on building your network, cultivating relationships with the people you connect with, and doing your best to get your resume in front of an actual person, in front of an actual hiring manager, your phone will ring much more often than just blindly applying to online jobs.
Okay, well, thank you, Tammy. I feel like this was a lot of information for everybody to take in, and I hope that you have benefited from it. I feel like you really have a plan that you can follow, and we will take some time for questions now. So while you type in your questions, I want to make sure that you all know, and I want to invite you to I'm Back at Work's new community. It's a closed Facebook group of women like you who are returning to the workforce, and also professionals and experts like myself, like Tammy, that are there to support you and support each other through the process of returning to work. And the idea of this group is a lot of women were telling me how hard this process is for them, and to find other people who are going through the same thing. So we decided to open this group and to support each other and provide you with an opportunity to ask ongoing questions. Through the Facebook group, we will also have dedicated webinars for Q&A, so you can ask more personal questions, either myself or other experts from the field. We are going to work on setting achievable goals and following through on them. We are also going to make new connections, which has been one of the things that Tammy was emphasizing as a big part of the job search process. We're also going to hear about job openings at companies that are excited to employ women that are returning to the workforce. And we'll also provide you with different materials that are going to be exclusive just to the I'm Back at Work closed group. If you want to learn more about it, just look at the website, and I hope to see you there. Now, some questions. Do you recommend having a pro LinkedIn account, or is just as well to have a basic account and you can accomplish the same thing but without having to pay? This is Ashley asking that. Tammy?
Hi, Ashley. Yes, great question. You don't need a pro account or a paid LinkedIn account to do what we talked about today. I have just the free account. And so all of the searching that I showed you, how you can filter your search results, that can all be done with the free account. So you don't, if that's something you don't, feel you want to invest in, it's really not necessary.
Right, and I see that Rachel has asked the same thing, and I really feel the same way, because all you want to do is reach out and connect with them first, and that you can do with a free account as well. Stephanie is asking, do you think that the job boards can be a good way to know the requirements for a job?
Yes, so I've used the job boards for researching, potential keywords or researching, what the general requirements are, when I'm writing someone's resume. So that would be one good use for them. However, usually if you're looking on LinkedIn, or if someone in your network suggests that you apply for a job, usually you can get the information, from your contact, or find a similar job, like you mentioned, on the job board. So yeah, so as a resource that way, it can be helpful.
Okay, we have a few more. We have a few people saying thank you for the great presentation. We have Rachel asking, what if there is a job advertised that it is at a lower level than your existing experience, but you know someone at the company? Is it worth submitting a resume anyway as a way to open a conversation for a future position? Then she's saying, especially if you have done contract work for the company.
Okay, so yeah, so if you've done contract work for the company, so you already sort of have an in there. I would prefer, I think your better strategy would just be trying to set up a conversation with someone at the company about what opportunities they might have available to you. I don't think you necessarily need to apply for a lower level job to get your foot in the door, if that makes sense. Is that answering your question?
So, Rachel, I would also add to it that sometimes even if they advertise for a lower level job, they're looking for the best person. Okay, and of course, if you have a relationship with them, I would talk to them about it. But you can apply, add a note, and try and touch base with the people that you know at the company, because often they would prefer to take somebody they've already worked with, and even though if, you have higher experience, you just sort of never know what exactly the company is thinking.
Excellent point, Nikki. Yeah.
So we have a few more thank yous for the useful
Oh,
tips.
wonderful.
And I think that at this point we've answered all of the questions. I'm going to give people one more second since there was a lot of questions flowing in. And some people did ask for the information about the Facebook group. So either going to Facebook and sort of touch on there, look, I'm back at work, or go onto onto our website. And thank you all for joining us today. And thank you very much for Tammy for a presentation full of very useful information.
Oh, it was absolutely my pleasure. I'm just going to throw up our contact information there. I'm always here to help. So if you start implementing this plan and you come across some stumbling blocks or you have questions in the future, feel free to reach out to me by email, tammybanfield@gmail.com, or you can also find me on my website, which is kickglasscareercoaching.com.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we hope to see you back at our other webinars soon.